Hello everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel, Angie the ENTJ. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click on the notification bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. So in my video today, I am piggybacking off of Bourbon Bougie, who did a video about another content creator named Lexi Kalina. And please forgive me if I mispronounce the name. I'll just say Lexi for short. I have provided the links to both of their videos within the description box. So please, after watching my own video, feel free to watch theirs as well, because they each have different perspectives on this topic. And this is a much needed conversation. And on that note, here's my own. So when Lexi made her list, there were people who were making snide comments about it, making it seem as if she was expecting too much from a man who wants to have a family with her. I'm here to say Lexi is actually being nice. And her list is actually reasonable compared to what she really could demand. And I am here, to show what she could really demand in exchange for the life-threatening experience of incubating, nourishing, and nurturing a legacy who will then grow up to become a person that can continue the stability of the society that they were born into. You see, everyone from the ages of 19 to 44 are the economic powerhouses within their own respective societies. They're the ones who are turning and lubricating the gears of that society. They are not too young to work like children, and they are not leveling off or declining their input due to, the time of retirement preparation, and they're not senior citizens who are retired, as far as people who are income producers. So the more people who are within this age group within a society, the better the ability that society has to continue to operate, flourish, and progress. You see, they can continue to work on and advance the technologies that will support the infrastructure, maintain the security of the society, the trade and the economics, work the various jobs and careers and so forth. So when we take a look at what a child offers to us, not only to a family, but to a society, okay, that ideally, that if the average American, as of right now, we're in 2023, going into 2024, the average American is earning about $75,000 per year, according to the U.S. Census. And that person works from the time that they are 23 years old, assuming that they have a degree, to the time that they are 65. So that's for like a total of 42 years. This means that if nothing changes, just doing straight math, this person will earn $3,150,000. And this is before taxes, which brings me to my next point. Now, take away 25% of that amount, and that yields $787,500 worth of tax revenue to the society that this baby is being born into, regardless of whether or not she is a girl or he is a boy. If they work for 42 years and earn $75,000 each, the society gains more than $750,000 in tax revenue per working age person. And who is risking her life to incubate, nourish, and nurture every single last one of these individuals? Yup, you're right. Us womb toters, us adult human females, those of us who were formerly known exclusively to be women. So Lexi Kalina, in my eyes, is basically what she's saying. She is providing a list of standards that is a bargain compared to what she is actually willing to do. And let me go into that. So if she were a surrogate, meaning there is no sex involved, just her egg is matched with a sperm, and she is to exclusively incubate, that's it, she would get paid $150,000 on average. Now, I know that there will be some males who will say that men contribute to the creation of babies, and this is indeed true. So if a woman like the brat would have been perfectly okay with taking semen from a male who had a one-night stand with his hand in the room of a sperm bank, just some random old semen, then it would have cost her maybe about $650. The bride, however, wanted to know more about the donor, so she spent thousands of dollars. But if she was just an average woman, then it would have cost her about $750. So a male's frozen chromosomes are not even worth a full $1,000. It's just some stuff sitting in some nitrogen, waiting to be picked, so long as the dude doesn't look like Jiminy Cricket. So going back to Lexa Kalina, now, if she were to be hired as a wet nurse, in other words, the baby cries, whan whan, and she's there with a boob for the infant to nourish itself from, nothing more. Just doing that exclusively, she would be paid $1,000 per week. So that is an additional $52,000 each year. So a surrogate who is also serving as a wet nurse would already earn an income of more than $250,000 within the first year of that child's birth. Now let's add to it the fact that she would be expected to perform the task that women are notoriously not compensated for. That if she were actually compensated for everything that a woman and a mother does, she would earn an additional more than $200,000. So within year one of this child being born, we are looking at Lexi as someone who would have earned over $450,000 if she were to be compensated for every single thing. Those little things, like they like to call it, whenever a woman does something substantial, it's always minimized. So that little pregnancy and that little baby and that little breast milk and that little nannying, along with everything else that comes with it, costs a little $450,000. If she and all women were fairly compensated for what we have collectively done on a regular basis. The average American woman is doing this in addition to working full-time jobs. So if we add an additional $75,000 worth of cash in annual earnings from a job, what we would be looking at as far as an income for Lexi that year would be $525,000 just in year one of having her first child, over $500,000. So let's keep that number in mind while we take a look at Lexi's list again. It says no ring, no baby, item 1. So the average cost of a wedding is about $30,000. The average cost of a wedding ring is about $6,000. So let's just say an even $40,000 for the wedding and the ring, because I'm sure that it is including a honeymoon with it. Okay. And so $40,000. She also says no working for 4 years. So that is about $300,000 worth of cash income that she will be walking away from to secure a legacy for a man. We women, bear in mind, we are perfectly fine keeping our in-shape bodies and our perky features without someone's one-time act of euphoria messing it all up for us. Okay, so we are the ones that are more invested in a child than the man is. Think about it. So she also says that she wants a doula. So that's going to cost about $3,000, and a night nurse who will watch the baby and help prevent the child from dying from sudden infant death syndrome in their sleep, which will also double into allowing the parents to get much needed rest. So that's going to cost about $50 per hour. So basically $400 each day. And they're usually around for 8 to 12 weeks. Let's go with 8 weeks. So that cost is going to be an additional $12,000 per month. And you have to tip. So let's make it an even $25,000. What Lexi did not include was a stay at a postpartum hotel like Borum in New York City.
Hey guys, come with me as I check into Borum, NYC's first postpartum retreat located at the beautiful Thompson Central Park. From the moment I arrived, I was welcomed by friendly staff and escorted to our room, complete with all the essentials for baby Mariama and I, including a cozy bassinet. The 3 daily meals, thoughtfully prepared and delivered, not only nourished my body, but also catered to my recovery and breastfeeding needs. Right after check-in, I enjoyed a foot bath, which was amazing. Brown Mother's Lounge was also a favorite. It was filled with snacks, beverages, bedtime story, and served as an educational space. Some of the events I attended included baby wearing and CPR classes. The 24/7 monitored nursery was heaven for baby and me. Sending her off allowed me to enjoy some precious alone time, including a rejuvenating in-room massage. Situated in an ideal location, Boram facilitated easy visit from friends and family while making an evening walk to Central Park an absolute delight.
So Borum can cost an additional $1,300 per night for about 2 weeks, which would be an additional $18,400, and plus you have to leave a tip. So let's just say an even $20,000. Since she did not include it, we'll leave it off the table. Now, going back to Lexi's list, she wants therapy sessions that are booked 6 months postpartum, which means that it may cost about $200 per session. So let's say that it will take about 20 sessions over a period of 6 months. That's about another $4,000. Now, she says that a mommy makeover may be needed, and that can average about $20,000. And she's also placed a baby moon at the end of her list. But I think it should have been after no ring, no baby. It's all good because all that matters is that it's on the list. And the cost of the baby moon is going to be there regardless. So she wants to enjoy what semblance of her life will remain at the moment. She wants to give a good send off to herself because she knows that as soon as this baby arrives, everything is going to change permanently. So she wants that baby moon that'll make her feel good about making this transition into her life prior to the child arriving. She wants to be in the best frame of mind and so forth before she goes into risking her life to deliver this child. So that is about an additional $2,000 on average. Now let me add all of this up, and it's going to cost about $94,000. Oh, I almost forgot the push present. Forgive me. So the average cost of a push present is about $2,000. So that is going to be about $96,000. Now, what's expected of a woman is expected up front and right away. But these guys have time to set themselves up to provide this. And they're still complaining? Are you kidding me? So, as I was saying, now for healthy marriages, some say it's best to wait about 2 to 3 years before having a baby. Some will say about 4 or 5 years so that the couple can really get to know each other very well before taking the next step into parenthood. So this means that the man has some time to come up with that $96,000 for the first child that she is needing in order to feel okay with being at home with their baby. And in addition to that, $96,000 from his end is far less than the $525,000 that her labor is worth within year 1 of this baby's life, which is why I initially said she's actually being nice in addition to her walking away from a job for 4 years and about $300,000 worth of cash income. See, part of the problem with people who are against Lexi is that they do not look at the numbers associated with lifetime events, because if they did, they would be up here telling her how nice she is instead of minimizing the real consequences that she is about to endure of the motherhood penalty. I would also add that it is these same ignorant people who are playing a role in why the U.S. is far behind other developed nations on the topic of parental leave, prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal care for both mother and the baby. In a previous video, I did about Krishan Rock, who had her baby in an unsupported position while shopping at Walmart. I pointed out that yes, what she was doing, how she was holding the baby, it indeed was raggedy. I agree. But it was more indicative of a raggedy way the U.S. society and the U.S. government treats new mothers than it is of Krishan Rock being raggedy. See, let's watch this little segment and then I'll return. A lot of my content is centered on helping people, especially women, on helping them to see the inconvenient truths or the hidden truths. And here's one of them. The way that Krishan Rock was holding her baby in Walmart was definitely very raggedy. However, it is more reflective of the raggedy healthcare system in the United States, the raggedy treatment of pregnant and postpartum mothers by the society as well as the government, the raggedy treatment of new parents in general, and the raggedy laws surrounding women's reproductive health in general. And I use the word health and reproductive health loosely here. It's more reflective of the raggedy way that women's issues are treated in general than it is of a 23-year-old new mother adjusting to the crash reality of being a first-time mom. True. Okay, I'm back. So you see, the U.S. society and the government are absolutely notorious for not listening to women's insights on our own affairs, on our own bodies, and especially with the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Listen, I do not blame any woman of childbearing age for putting her standards out here very high and saying nope to the men who cannot, do not, and who are not willing to measure up to them. The reason why these males behave this way is because their role model is their father and their grandfather, who was a cheap person. He was not educated enough. He had no respect for women and should not have had any children to begin with at all. If they came from fathers and grandfathers who actually treated their mothers and grandmothers with respect in general, then the U.S. society would rival Scandinavian nations on the type of health care and wellness that is routinely provided to the citizens, especially those of us who are new mothers. However, since they want to play games with our bodies and our rights while using our tax dollars to do so, since they think that our lives are the equivalent of children games to play with, then let them stay alone in a room watching triple X television. Let them get a blow-up doll girlfriend and let them keep lube companies profitable. Since they are not willing to do all that it takes to make a woman feel comfortable enough to risk her life to yield a legacy for him, to risk her life to yield someone who will contribute to the economic power of this country, and since they are willing to penalize women for making decisions that are in alignment with ensuring that when she does have children, they are set up to become good citizens of the society and not felons, then let the males suffer. You see, women did not fully have our rights until 1972 in the U.S. And with Roe versus Wade, by the 90s, the number of inmates entering the penitentiary went down because women were no longer forced to give birth to unsuitable offspring. Now, look at what's happening in 2023, and you think the overturning of Roe versus Wade was going to help this? Crime sprees are going on everywhere. So the people who are complaining about Lexi's list are actually the same people that listen to crusty old males who should have never had access to wombs to begin with. And now in 2023, we're living in a time where the smoke screen from all of these crusty old males and all of their raggedy ideals is starting to clear away, and the cold, hard truth, the cold, hard reality is becoming more clear. That women are not willing to participate in a society that will take our tax dollars but shun our input. They are the same people that want to scream about gun rights and complain about crime rates, but are upset when we women decide to only allow VIP access to our wombs. So the U.S. has a major problem on their hands of a bunch of backed up young men who cannot live up to Lexi's expectations but still want a legacy. Let them figure it out. As far as Lexi Carlina, I hope that you and Bourbon Bougie did not mind me piggybacking off of you and throwing in some numbers so that we can quantify this discussion and analyze the numbers involved in this conversation. So that's all I have to say for now. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, click on the notifications bell so you'll know whenever I upload any new content. Take care until next time.